Guys, I definitely have to get more interior back into the Supra. So I brought out the weather strips, I brought out more panels. I'm gonna go over the panels just to see if anything probably might need to be restored, but the quarter panels are officially fixed. So that is great, and I got that out the way, and they are already freshly painted on the side, ready to be installed. So now I'm also gonna refreshen the weather strips and go over those too, just to double check them, and at least opt to get like 60% of this interior back into the build. And of course, I do gotta still prepare the inside of it and kind of get the floorboard clean and the firewall cleaned, because I think it is essential to add some sound editing. Not too much of it, but of course, just around the transmission tunnel, firewall, floorboards. Very simple, I don't need a lot. That's gonna be the work for today, guys. So while I was getting the panels ready, I even found the OEM seatbelts, the rear and the front ones too. And I was having a little bit of an issue with this one. I'm not sure if it's for the driver or the passenger side, but it just wasn't oh yeah, look, we see it right there. So it's not retracting out. And this one's fine. This one retracts all the way out, it goes back in. This one over here, the same thing, it retracts out, it goes back in. And then same for this other one. So I guess this is like a common issue with MK4 Supra seatbelts, where they either don't retract back in or they don't retract out. So I ended up taking out these little dowel pins, and I ended up opening up the casing. And yeah, it's this like little blue lever right here that prevents it from retracting out. So it's like if I like keep my finger on it and it's not clenched in between this gear here, it'll like come out all the way. And I think at this point it's probably a good idea to even like clean these up, because the seatbelt does look a little worn. Technically these are the newer ones that the previous owner bought for them. But did you guys know that these have a life expectancy? I didn't know that. I just found that out today. So I think that's pretty interesting. And I think I want to just either maybe just get a replacement for this one, or just takes out, because see, it fell out and look at it. It just retracts in, it retracts out. The internals on this one look a lot different than this one, that one, and that one. So I think at some point this was probably replaced, and this might be either from 1994. I'm not sure if it's for this year's Supra or a later year. It's only been like a couple hours, but the inside of the Supra, guys, it is now fully prepped. It is clean and it is ready to get an overlay of that sound deadening material as soon as it gets here in the morning. And I haven't even gotten over the weather strips. I was just making sure that this panel was sitting perfectly. This is what I was working on yesterday, and it came out super great. And I did paint some of these other panels. Like, for example, there's these like little pillars on the side that go on the driver and the passenger side. And I cleaned these up a bit. And this is like where the handlebar goes. So I think this is on the passenger side. So yeah, so those are also ready. And I also just, you know, lightly cleaned up the seat belts. I didn't really go over the rest of the weather strips, but I'm actually going to do that tomorrow because I have to go to class already. But as far as the condition of the rest of the panels, nothing is cracked. It's just there's like a little bit of damage. Like, for example, this is one of the trunk pieces. And if we look at that closely, it has like, you know, this little scuff mark in there. So I'm thinking maybe I could just, you know, sand it down lightly. And I think that would be fine, you know. I don't want to like try to mess with it, because I feel like if I mess with it, then I'm gonna just break it and then it's gonna get worse. But besides that, the rest of the Supra is still gonna need a lot of work. But as I am collecting some more interior parts, I just want to start getting stuff in here. Yeah, so that bundle of wires that you see there, that is pretty much all I have. And I remember when I turned in my car to the auto body, they did tell me that a lot of weather strips broke apart on them, and I just told them just throw it away. It's fine. I mean, I'm gonna get new ones anyways, and for them just to salvage what can be used. But as I'm checking these and their condition, guys, this is just not something that I can really reuse, and I can't even restore. And I'm gonna show you the condition right now. But yeah, no, this is like not, I don't even have a lot, you know? So I'm still missing like probably 60% of the weather strips. And then like, you know, the couple sets that I have here, it's just not gonna work out. For example, there's a main weather strip that goes from the door liner here, and it goes all across to the other side, and it also seals the inside of the targa top just so no rain or moisture can get in from there. And this part ends here, so it's a little damaged from the sides. It's cracked on the other side, so there's like a huge little gap right here on this side. but on the other side over there. And I mean, the condition on the exterior is not too bad, but when we look at that part right there, we see that it is chewed up and it's complete. It's just getting to the other side where there is just this huge gash. And yeah, like I said, this is not really something that I can restore. Yeah, I mean, I did even look at some videos just to like check, but no, this is better just to be bought brand new, you know, and replace. I mean, of course, in a freshly built car, that's what most people would do too. And I mean, I would have loved to try to see if I can repair it, but no, even this one's also like very damaged. Yeah, so, oh no, yeah, I can't reuse these. Also, the ones for the door, so there's these specific weather strips that go from here and then they go down here. Those were the ones that broke as they were taking everything else apart. And then there's this weather strip that goes from here down that way, and that's over here. And there's only one of them because the other one also broke apart on them. And yeah, no, this is just not in good condition. Not at all. And then I think this one, because I have to double check, but I think this one's the one that goes inside this front windshield. So there's supposed to be another seal on the inner side. I have a pretty decent list going now with about 4 different sets of weather strips. And I still do have to look at the different part numbers for the other weather strips and probably also pull up the diagrams just so I can make sure. And that way I can know if I'm going to need to add anything else. So far, confidently, from what I have, I'm replacing all of those. So it's like 4 different sets. But I think I'm still going to need one more trunk weather strip. There's also still going to be another one for the front engine bay. And I don't know if I'm going to replace this one. This one looks good, which is this cowl weather strip. And it goes in the front side of the hood. So this is in good condition. It just, you know, obviously it's a little dirty. And I would have to go to Toyota just to get replacement rivets for the back of this. So they do sell the rivets, which is great. And I ended up also getting just like a lot of clips and like these little retainers like for the body, which they do still sell like the hardware, which is amazing. We got the material right here. So I went with a company called Silas. I think that is how you pronounce it. And it is a thicker foam. The only reason why I went with this is because not only does it dampen the sound, the noise, the vibrations, but it also serves as a heat insulator. And because I am going to put this on the firewall, I just will get the full combo, you know, like all 3 in one. And in the MK4 Supras, I noticed that there's already a heat insulator pad that's along the driver firewall, you know, the footwell. And then there's also one on the passenger side. Look at that. So there's already that. So I can actually just put some foam underneath, you know, cover this main area here, clean that up, and then put that back in. And then there's that one there. Now, of course, there are people that even put it in the trunk area, like around like the spare wheel or around like, oh, it's locked. I was going to show you guys the trunk, but it's like around that trunk area, like around where the gas tank is at. So that little well. Now, it's probably not a bad idea to put some in there because I definitely would like to prevent some of that vibration, you know, going around. Of course, I'm not going with like a crazy sound system, you know, but still, I mean, it wouldn't be a bad idea to kind of cover up that little trunk area and see how it works out for me. Of course, like later down the line, you know, I'll give you guys a review if I ever decide to like switch it up or change the material, or if I decide to just, you know, go with something else. And then that way I can also test to see like how it actually works, you know. I have not driven a Supra. I know that's crazy, right? I'm building a car that I have never driven. So yeah. Earlier in the video, I had showed you this panel and this little scratched up marks that are on the inside of it. And I said that I wasn't gonna mess with it because I didn't want it to crack even more. I'm gonna have to mess with it anyways because look at that. There's this huge chunk missing in the corner. I'm gonna pull up a diagram of this just to check if like there's nothing else. It looks like it just ends right here with that piece missing. But yeah, I'm gonna just double check just to see like, you know, maybe if it is an item that I could probably still buy, and if not, oh well. And since I have a list going of all the weather strips that I'm possibly gonna need and then just checking through the rest of the things that I actually have, I was watching this other fellow enthusiast that does very detailed videos on the teardown of a Supra, on the rebuild of a Supra, and he even did a series of the weather strips and the interior parts. His name is Ryan, his channel's name is Pure Function, and I highly suggest if you guys like Supra videos to definitely check him out because his videos are really great and he's very detailed. So he explains everything and I love that. So he actually did explain about these specific seals right here. It's not like technically a weather strip, it's a very hard seal, but this actually goes on the front doors. And there's one for like the driver's side, there's one for the passenger side. And I believe he mentioned that the driver's side is the one that you just cannot find, you know, and he's rebuilding his wife's Supra, so he just could not find like that driver's side, you know, seal. And the ones that I have here are in great condition, which is really great. And I even have the ones for the targa top. Now these are also hard to come by, but I have seen people on Facebook Marketplace sell those. I've seen kits where it's the two seals, because these are also for the targa top as well, but there's supposed to be two of them. So it's, you know, like a full set where it comes two of those, and then it comes two of the ones that are like on top of the Supra right now. So those like front seals, I mean, they are complete. It looks like I just have to really do like a full clean down, a restoration, and I probably still can reuse these. So yeah, his videos are really great because he, in detail, you know, he's already very experienced and he knows like what's gonna work, what's not. You know, for example, like if these are gonna cause like a leak, you know, and then obviously like I found out that this is actually something that I can even, you know, they probably sell the passenger one, just like not the driver's side one. This might not be enough. I think I might still have to buy another roll, but I'm pretty confident this can at least cover the doors and maybe the firewall and at least like one side of, you know, either the driver or the passenger side. But like, this is how the material looks like. And guys, I cannot wait to install it, but we're not gonna do it today. No. We have the RDX packed with some tools, and I'm gonna head over to Brianna's house because she has a 2002 Honda Accord that I've been helping her swap out the old motor that she bought the car, you know, with a bad motor, so a project car. And she bought a brand new motor, well, technically a used motor for like 50,000 miles or so. So she bought a used motor, and she bought the JDM version, which I thought was pretty cool. Okay, I was like, okay, that's interesting, you know. So we had to do like some research to see, you know, what to take off, what to remove, if we needed to like remove sensors. So yes, we had to swap out like all the brackets. We had to take out all the sensors from the older engine just in case, and we could still use the same harness. And it's been about like, I would say like 3-4 Saturdays that I've been there just to kind of like help her swap it out. So today, if everything goes great, then the car is officially going to run with that used engine, and it's going to be her daily driver. And yeah, I think that's pretty like cool. So this opportunity came about because I helped her with her IS300 for an Innova collaboration. And then she showed me that she has actually another project car that she just bought. And she was like, you know, I'm gonna learn, right? And I love that so much because I was like, oh, that was me, you know. It was like, I'm just gonna like learn, I'm gonna buy some tools and then figure it out, you know, because that's like the best way to do it. So I encouraged her and I was like, you know what, I can help you out. And well, we're here now. And before we end today's vlog, I wanted to show you guys my secondary fuel filter from this company called Russell. So Tuan sent this over to me. And at first I was like, I don't have a use for it, you know, because my fuel setup is technically done. But I configured another layout, so there is a slight adjustment that I am going to make. And yeah, so I'm actually going to use a secondary fuel filter. That's pretty exciting. Just wanted to share that with you guys. And I will catch you guys this week with some more Supra work. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay tuned for more, and I'll see you guys soon.